Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Amber here, and today we are going to talk about the 8 most toxic love after lockup couples. This is what I think is the 8 most toxic couples. You guys let me know in the comments who you think is the most toxic or the least toxic. But number 1, I would have to say Scott and Lizzie are the number 1 most toxic couple, and I'm going to tell you why. So in terms of shock value, there is no doubt in my mind that Lizzie and Scott would be the most toxic couple in love after lockup history. Lizzie has been in and out of prison all her life, and after she did 4 years for meth and gun charges, she came home to Scott, who packed his bags and moved across the country and from New York to Mississippi to rent a home for Lizzie, Miley Grace, her daughter, and him all to live in. And he even was considering letting Tara Bell live in the driveway at some point, and he was doing all this while mourning the passing of his son, who passed away right before Lizzie and Scott started talking. So Scott got this girl an iPhone. He bought her hella clothes. And he brought an interior designer to make the house look like how Lizzie sent him magazine clips of how she wanted the house to look. So he brought an interior designer, and that cost him 50 racks. And he did all this stuff for Lizzie, and she was just not appreciative whatsoever. I don't think I ever heard a thank you out of her mouth. And she ended up going through his thing, and Scott said Scott was allegedly talking to whores, and she turned around and had a cowgirl office tantrum, and she destroyed his whole office, carved FU in his desk, put his laptop out in the rain, and told Scott she was gonna be effing somebody in his bed by next week. And then she refused to leave when Scott wanted her to leave. She's the definition of a hot mess and I think narcissist. And Lizzie didn't even make it 7 weeks out of prison before she turned around and went right back to prison for stealing a car and getting another meth charge, all while leaving her poor daughter Miley Grace behind. And next we have Destiny and Shawn. I fought with myself so many times about who is the most toxic couple. And Destiny and Shawn and Scott and Lizzie are almost equal in my book, and I struggled really hard, like, who's more toxic? And Destiny's entitled, bratty, and rough behavior was the common theme, and her relationship with Shawn, and she drained Shawn of his bank account, his 401k, and more, and she was never happy no matter how much money he gave her, and I don't think I ever heard a thank you out of her mouth either, and gave up spending time with his kids and quit spending money on his kids and helping them out financially, or his baby mother out financially, just to turn around and be punched in the face multiple times and called the ungrateful son of a bee. And like I said, Destiny was never satisfied, and Shawn lied to her about his age and how many kids he had, all while she lied and never brought up the fact she's a deadbeat mother to 5 kids and making no effort to be in any of their lives. She went MIA and she stole Shawn's car, and when Shawn tracked her down, she threw his engagement ring at him and called him a trick. Shawn finally grew a pair and got his car towed that Destiny had stolen, and Destiny turned around and married somebody else 2 weeks later. And then we found out that Destiny was talking to another man the whole time she was with Shawn, and that's the man she ended up marrying. And then we found out Shawn was talking to another inmate the whole time he was with Destiny. And then after him and Destiny broke up for good, Shawn was talking to another inmate the whole time he was with Destiny. So Shawn in turn started seeing another inmate that he had been talking to the whole time, and he is going to be on the next season 4 of Love After Lockup that airs in June with his new inmate girlfriend. And Destiny went back to prison, and she's already back on the prison pen pal website looking for her next victim. Like, every time I watched Shawn, all I could do was just shake my head. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? And the third most toxic couple, I would have to say, is Michael and Sarah. Michael was a serial cheater who even cheated on Sarah while she was pregnant, and he continuously went MIA on Sarah and the kids. And that's just a common theme for Michael throughout the season, and he's like a player and proud of it. And how many women have we seen him with throughout the seasons now? I think like over 2 handfuls at least. So I picked this to be the third because of the 2 children who go through it the most because of this, because their dad only wants to pop up when he wants some booty from Sarah or after one of his other girlfriends have kicked him out. It's like, Sarah, hey, Maria kicked me out, so I would like to see my kids. Like, boy, please. Sarah would say she's a strong, independent woman and over Michael, but as soon as he came back, his devil D like cast a spell on her and put her in a trance where she just threw all rationality out the window and just jumped into bed with Michael. Like, isn't she worried about getting pregnant with baby number 3 with a deadbeat or getting a freaking disease or something? It's just the same song, same dance with this couple. Not to mention, Michael hasn't had a job since he first started on the show. He says his only income is from women who send him money, and he doesn't put a dime of that towards his kids. And how can he just like come around, get some kitty cat from Sarah, then go ghost on his kids and not call or even think of his kids? Michael's been in and out of jail since being on the show, and he's this updating court date for some serious charges, and Sarah has moved on to a new man, which fans say he resembles Michael. And number 4 on the 4th most toxic Love After Lockup couple, I would have to give it to Scott and Lizzie from season 2 of Love After Lockup. Scott spent his whole life savings. He spent over $90,000 on Lizzie while she was in prison, and he pretty much went bankrupt over her, and she never even put out the whole time. Lizzie left Scott once she found out that he was broke. We remember it's all in your head moment whenever Scott was saying Lizzie wasn't paying attention to him, and she said she didn't want to have sex till they were married because she was a born-again virgin. And Scott was all insecure, but he thought he was in love, so he just kept trying and trying. And Lizzie tried to start a relationship with him after they broke up, and he was wanting to give up everything for her. But they were just fighting so bad, and Lizzie was on age, and she got Scott on age, and she started dogging him for being on it, even though she was on it, and they just had a toxic relationship. She was just using the hell out of him, and he was just trying to find somebody to love, and got taken advantage real bad. And they had a messy breakup. She's back in jail right now, and I don't know how he's doing. Last I heard, he was sober. But how savage Lizzie was to Scott is why I gave them number 4 on the list of top 8 most toxic Love After Lockup couples. I did the first 4, and I'm going to do the last 4 in a second video. I'm going to do it tomorrow of the 5th most toxic couple, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, you know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Who do you think is the most toxic Love After Lockup couple? Who would you list as the top 8? Let me know in the comments below, and I will be posting the second part tomorrow. Thank you for watching. And make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss the tea while it's still hot.